This is the most energy I've ever put into a stream. The production value is sky high. And I think we're ready. This is the weeb presentation. It is about Detective Conan. Detective Conan, what the fuck is that, Mello? I hear you ask. I hear the voices. And the answer is, it is a very important franchise in Japan. It is a manga. It is an anime. It has movies every year for like the past 20 years. These movies come out in the beginning of May and they gross a lot of money. The movie last year grossed more than Avengers Endgame. Please breathe that in. It grossed more than The Lion King, Avengers Endgame, Bohemian Rhapsody. It was a big deal. And yet, a lot of people have either never heard of it or have never seen it, which is reasonable because it's kind of 900 episodes long. It's been running since 1996. That means that it is younger than Magic the Gathering, but older than me. So it's one of the longest things that you could ever watch. But it's really good. It's kind of ridiculous how good it is, considering that it's basically an all-ages family mystery show, but also with heavy blood. It's great. It's stunning. But of course, it's completely inaccessible to most people because of how long it is. Like 900 episodes. Who's going to engage with that? Very few people are actually going to engage with that. So that's why I'm here. I'm here to summarize. What is Detective Conan? This is Detective Conan. We're going to go through it all right here, right now. Told as a role play. So what I'm saying when I say that, you are Shinichi. Your parents are incredibly negligent. They've basically left you alone for the past 17, 18 years of your life. So your very niche micro-interests have been allowed to flourish, which means you're a nerd. You're a detective. And this is important. I really need you to listen when I say this. You're a dumbass. This is your girlfriend and childhood friend, Ran. She has a very interesting bone structure in her head that we lovingly call the horn. And in about 10 years, this is probably what she's going to look like. But it's not hurting her. Don't worry about it. She looks like a cinnamon roll, but she could kill you. She also deserves better than you. So, the beginning of the show, you and Ran go on a date to Tropical Land. Tropical Land is basically Disneyland with a body count, and also these things. Dear God, answer me, what the fuck are these things? So it's a detective show. What happens in this theme park is you witness a murder, and you solve the murder, but along the way you notice these really suspicious men in black. So you have a choice here. You can either follow the men in black, or you can stick with your girlfriend, have a nice date, you know, the usual. So this is what you pick. You choose to follow the men in black, because remember, you're a dumbass. It's very important. I can't stress that enough. So, you follow them behind a building, you get thwacked, you get force-fed a poison, and boom, you're a child now. The poison turned you into a child. So scenario number 1. You've been force-fed a drug that turns you into an 8-year-old boy. Do you A, tell nobody except for your chaotic science neighbour? B, call yourself Conan and pretend to be your own cousin? C, move in with your girlfriend? That's right, the answer was D, all of the above. But there are some pros to this situation. You might be an 8-year-old boy, that's okay. The pros, you live with your girlfriend and her dad rent-free, that's a pretty sweet deal. You get to dress like John Mulaney every single day of your life. A small army of children follow you around and worship you as their god. But the cons are also pretty strong. You're just too short for most activities. I've produced a really handy infographic here. If you look at the diagram, it shows that you're too short. And you kind of want to fix that, you know? You don't want to stay like this. You want your old body back. You want to be able to be an 18-year-old boy instead of an 8-year-old boy. So how do you do this? Let's genuinely think this through. How do you do this? How do you go back to your body? Well, you need to find the men in black that fed you the poison so you can find an antidote. The men in black commit crimes. How do you find criminals? You solve crimes. So you need to solve more crimes. And if you solve enough crimes, eventually one of them will be committed by these evil guys. Luckily for you, your girlfriend's dad is a detective. He's a shit detective, but you think if you big up his reputation enough, he's going to get some high-profile cases and one of them's got to involve the men. So how do you do this if he's a really shit detective? How do you big him up without letting anyone know that you're a really smart 8-year-old boy? You drug him and you impersonate him daily. You shoot him with a needle that contains a tranquilizer, and then you use a voice-changing bow tie to impersonate his voice. Easy. I've produced another graph that shows this off. If you look, as the number of times you drug this man increases, the number of crimes you solve increases, and the likelihood of running into the small boy bringers increases, and that is stonks. So this is your overarching goal, you know? You drug the man, you solve the crime, you find the bringers. That's what you want to do. But meanwhile, you've still got a life going on. You get busy. You get some cool new shoes. You be gay, solve crime. You fail to save a suspect from burning alive in a building and are forever traumatized by the feeling that you caused their death by solving crime too hard. And you make some friends. And some of these friends include Sonoko. Sonoko is an interesting character. She's not really your friend. She's kind of Ran's friend. And she doesn't really like you. So the best way to describe her is that she's Ran's jealous girlfriend. She's also very distinguished. Her family is wealthy. They let you into events. You get to wear a very different suit. You know, it's all fun. But the thing that kind of detracts from her is that she's just kind of horny. And I don't like it. So I've given her a ranking. She's 3 out of 10. This is Heiji. He is more your friend than Ran's. He is one of the few people that knows that Conan and Shinichi are the same person, wink wink. And in that sense, he's your jealous boyfriend. And when I look at him, one phrase comes to mind, and that's just, nice hat, nerd. And he's loud. He's so loud. So 7 out of 10. Then at the bottom, we have Kazuha. Kazuha is... She's happy to be here. She's pointy though, you know what I mean? She's pointy and she's nervous, and I don't know what can I say? Something about her just gives me vibes. There's just something off about her. I can't put it into words. Maybe you've figured it out. I'm not really sure. So those are your friends that are kind of your age. And then you have the police. You have the Japanese Tokyo Metropolitan Police somehow become your friends. And I've produced, again, another diagram for you to sort of display how they rank in terms of power. And their names don't really matter towards the top because they don't really play a massive role. But at the top you have the boss of these two guys. The one on the left has a very suspicious eye, and he's maybe a villain of a new arc, but we're not really sure yet. But he looks kind of gross, right? We can agree. He's the boss of, from left to right, Megure, Shiratori, and Nakamori. Similar names, don't worry about it. Everyone has the same name and the same face. Shiratori had like a forced love triangle with Sato for a few episodes before he started dating Conan's teacher. Conan's teacher is basically identical to Sato. They have the same haircut, except she has glasses, so there's something a bit weird going on there, but no one's ever questioned it, and I'm not going to be the one to do it. Sato, the lady on the left, is basically married to Takagi. They're in love. Takagi's great. It's all great. And then Chiba, who's on the right of Takagi at the bottom, he and Mike on the far right have a relationship, I guess. He taught her a valuable lesson about following the law when they were kids. And they don't remember each other, but they're kind of in love, I guess. I don't know. But this is important. I figured out a trend when I was doing this. I noticed a very important correlation. In the Detective Conan universe, as your power and ranking in the police industry increases, you become more and more crusty. Just look at this. Like, look at the bottom. You're fresh-faced, you're baby, you're squishy, and then you just go up and it's like more facial hair, less head hair, stinky eyes, and just overall kind of crusty. And I don't know what it means, but I feel like I've solved something here, you know? I feel like I've cracked a code. I don't know. And let's go into more detail about the police that matter. So this is Megure. He's a big man with big intentions. He's grumpy, and he's happy to let children do his job. This isn't good for the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department, but it is really good for you, considering that you look like you're 8 and you want to solve crime. So he gets a 6 out of 10. This is Sato. She's powerful. I want her to shoot me. And she also doesn't question why you are like this. And by this, I mean a hyper-aggressively smart 8-year-old boy. So she gets an 8 out of 10. And then finally we have Takagi. What can I say about Takagi other than the fact that he's baby? He's baby. Not me, not you. He's baby. Also, you like defuse a bomb with him in a lift one time, again as an 8-year-old, and he doesn't really question it. So you forged an infinite bond as bomb buddies for life. So he's the best. He's the best character. So he gets a 12 out of 10. But plot alert. While you were off making friends, these guys were studying the blade. They plan a robbery. This is a very important plot point. They plan a robbery, and they plan to use one of their lower-ranking members in the organisation, Akemi, as a scapegoat. Akemi betrays them because she and her sister want out of the organisation. They don't like it anymore. It's a bit murdery. It's a bit scary. They don't want to be involved. So she sort of betrays them a bit, and she ends up getting shot. You failed to stop it, and it's another one of those traumas that keeps coming back to haunt you. And it's featured in a newspaper. And that's how her sister finds out about it. Her sister, we'll call her Hybera, she wants to ask you some questions about why you didn't save her life. And she also still wants to escape the organisation. So she fakes her death by taking the same drug that you took, and now she's also an 8-year-old. And she comes to you, and she breaks down in tears, miserable over the agony of the one person in her life that cared about her dying. So there's a lot there. But she's in the story now. She's your friend now. Isn't that fun? Hybera has big sassy toddler energy. She's also mean, but she's allowed to be mean because she's better than you, and she knows it. 9 out of 10. This is Agasa. He's the chaotic science neighbour from earlier. He takes Hybera in because he has a big house or something. I don't really know. He tells every dad joke that you can think about, just every single one. Every third word out of his mouth is a pun. And he suffers from a very debilitating heart condition, and that heart condition is passion. He loves too much. So he gets a 7 out of 10. This is his car. It's a Beetle. It drive. Yellow. So that gets it a 10 out of 10. Meanwhile, other things go on, you know? Your parents find out you're 8, but they don't really care because, like I said earlier, they're negligent. You make friends with a suspicious doctor and a suspicious high school teacher. They will be important later. You have vivid flashbacks to a holiday you took in New York a couple years ago, and he is Kaito. Kaito, his dad was a magician who moonlighted as a thief called Phantom Thief Kid. Phantom Thief Kid was killed by a mysterious organisation, and now Kaito is the new kid searching for his father's killer. So he also has negligent parents in the sense that his dad is dead and his mother lives in Las Vegas and ignores him. So his micro-interests have been allowed to flourish, which makes him a nerd. But a magician, and I can't stress this enough, he's even more of a dumbass than you. He has a childhood friend as well that he's kind of dating. Her name's Aoko. Unlike Ran, she looks like a cinnamon roll and is a cinnamon roll, but she also deserves better than you. That's just a fact. Now, I can hear you saying, Melo, these characters are very similar to the ones that you mentioned earlier. Is there a difference between them? And the answer is yes. The difference is that the fandom doesn't like Shinichi as much as we love Kaito. Kaito is better in every way. He's just cooler. And I want to explore that with you now. I want to explore Kid. Kid is friends with a witch. He has a hang glider and a gun that shoots cards, but he's afraid of fish, and he can disguise himself as literally anyone. A maid, easy. A child, easy. Sonico in a gas mask, he's already done it. He also once built a robot of himself that tried to take over the world, and narrowly succeeded, almost. And he wears a white suit. Now, according to Google, a white suit is the sharpest style statement a man can make. In conclusion, do it for him. So yeah, that's Kaito. He's kind of involved in stuff that happens in the show. He has his own show, but he matters, okay? He's important. Uh-oh. Plot alert. You've been shot in a cave and you require a blood transfusion. Ran realizes that Conan and Shinichi have the same blood type, and now she's suspicious. You have some options. Do you A, die immediately from the embarrassment and the gunshot wound? B, calmly explain the situation to her? Or C, throw off the scent? That's right, it was C. You throw her off the scent. By taking a temporary antidote, gate-crashing the school play, wearing a cape, solving a murder, having Highborough cosplay as Conan, gaslighting Ran so hard that she cries in public. Yeah, so there's a lot to unpack there. That was a very stressful week for you. You were quite busy. Now would be the time to sort of take stock a little bit, to relax, to chill. Wrong? You can't chill. Do you know why? Because as the number of times you drug this man increases, the number of crimes you solve increases. And it turns out that increases your stress. And that is not stonks. And before you know it, plot alert. You try to lure out the evil organisation, but you nearly get caught. And it's one of those events that's going to traumatize you forever. There's quite a few of those. That suspicious doctor that we mentioned earlier is Vermouth. Vermouth is one of the high-ranking members of this organisation. She is fantastic. Look at her. But importantly, she has some very iconic quotes. Just some really memorable things like, "A secret makes a woman, woman. Wow. We can be both of God and the devil, since we're trying to raise the dead against the stream of time." Beautiful. And my personal favourite, "I wonder if there is really God. If he truly existed, wouldn't all hard-working, honest people be happy?" The hottest of takes from Vermouth. In other news, this guy keeps showing up and staring at you. You're kind of suspicious of him. He'll come into play later. The suspicious teacher from earlier, she works for the FBI. No profession is safe in this universe. Speaking of the FBI, drumroll please. The FBI is really important in this show. At the top we have Jodie, the teacher. She's American, she's tall, and she is full of angst because Vermouth killed her parents when she was a child, and she will never be able to escape the fact that her life is defined by this organisation. 8 out of 10. This is her boss. He's American as well, but he isn't tall, he's crusty. And he's boring. So 2 out of 10. He doesn't even matter. Look at that mustache. Disgusting. This is a... No! No. Who let him in here? Get out of here. Fuck you, Camel. Fuck you. Did you leave the door open? If you leave the door open, he gets in, and then I have to go through this whole process. It's okay. He's gone now. This is a Kai. He has a big brain. He has a resting bitch face. And overall, he just puts the B in FBI, 10 out of 10. It's time to play a game. Which intelligence agency is hiding behind members of the black organisation? Well, I've made it easy for you. You already know. Top left, Akai. He is secretly working for the FBI, posing as a member of the organisation. Very good. But anyone else? Ooh. That's right. Far right. Hidemi Hondo works for the CIA. You're getting good at this game. Anyone else, you think? Chianti, Vermouth? No, but Ray is working for the Japanese National Police Agency, so that's quite a few members. And that leads us to... Plot alert. Hondo is in hospital, and her secret identity is under scrutiny. The FBI has enlisted your help, despite the fact that they all think you're 8 years old. Do you A, move her into witness protection? B, transfer her to a new hospital? C, take her out? That's right, it was D, fake Akai's death. Now hold on, I know what you're thinking. Melo, when did Akai come into play? And I want to elaborate for you. It makes sense if you think about it. So, you want Hondo to keep her cover. You need her as a spy. She's very important for the CIA. So you let the black organisation take her, and then you have her kill Akai as a sign of loyalty. Genius. But the joke's on them. He's not really dead. Of course he's not. You don't find out how they fake his death until like 200 episodes later, but luckily for you, I've unearthed some of the notes I made whilst watching this arc of the show. They were quite intense. I'm not going to elaborate, but basically he's not dead, don't worry about it. But there's other stuff going on. He's not important right now. You and Kid continue to... be enemies. I don't know how that ended up in here. You be gay, solve crime part 2, the squeakquel. You also make even more friends. You're just so friendly and bubbly and approachable. At the top, we have Subaru. He has a very big brain. He likes wearing turtlenecks for some reason, hiding his neck, not suspicious. He lives in your house now. because he asked to, and you're what can I say? You're a slut for being asked things. And I promise, okay? I promise you he's not a Kai. Just because he has a very similar voice to a Kai, and he has the same eyes as a Kai, and he popped up shortly after a Kai died. I promise he's not a Kai. Anyway, he's a 10 out of 10 as well. This person, Ray, from earlier, remember, working for the Japanese police agency, he's a stinky bastard, man. He's yucky, and he's gross. So that gives him a 0 out of 10. We don't stand. And at the bottom we have Sarah. Sarah's wife. She's very, very high-ranking wife material. She is more Ran's friend than yours, and for that reason, she's Ran's second jealous girlfriend. Ran is rolling in them. She's also a detective, but unlike you, she's escaped the curse. She's not a dumbass, and for that she gets a 9 out of 10. She does, however, have a very, very confusing family tree. Looking at this hurts, and it's too much, okay? But basically, she's related to a Kai. She's also distantly related to Hybra and a Kemi from earlier. Jesus Christ, it's too much for me. But, you know, sometimes these things happen and... Oh no. Plot alert. You take a trip on a mystery train. Hybra's secret identity has been compromised. People know that she's alive. But on the plus side, they think she's alive and an adult. So you can fix this, you can work around this. Sarah is being forced to confront the brother she thought was dead, but that's a side story. You blow up the train to fake Hybra's death, and it works. It works. Because you had Kid disguised as the adult version of Hybra. My mind is as blown up as that train. And to be honest, that's basically all you need to know. That's pretty much the show. What can I say? That's it. That's pretty much it. So in answer to the question, what is Detective Conan? Why does it matter? Why is this such a big thing in Japan? Why is it such an enterprise? And the answer is, it just kind of is. It's a ridiculous show. I've not even gone into some of the craziest shit. Like in how one of the movies, a major plot point is the fact that someone is a distant relative of Rasputin and wants to kill the descendants of Russian royalty. But I love it. It's stunning. It's one of the best things to have ever been produced. And technically now, you're about as aware of it as everyone else is. Thank you.